Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line.
Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to week 18 of the 2020-2021 PGA season. We're at the At&T Pebble Beach, kind of quote-unquote pro-am. No pro-am this week, but fired up for it. A little bit of a, sometimes you could think a hangover week after Super Bowl and an awesome waste management. Thank God for Brooks, because absolutely got torched on the Super Bowl betting. Was very heavy on the Chiefs. Loved them. Thought it would be a somewhat competitive game. Obviously, I didn't think the Chiefs would blow them out, but kind of felt it was going to be like a 24-20 type game going in, mid-fourth. Chiefs pull away late. 31-23, I think, was my final score prediction. I was obviously way wrong. Unfortunately, some of the times when you do that and your prop bets are surrounded around a lot, which was kind of, I guess, hindsight, I probably should have thought through, but because I was heavy on the under as well, and that obviously hit. But I thought it'd be competitive. Just 57 was a lot, and that's when I locked it in. And so, but a lot of my props were probably more leaning towards the over, but not totally. I mean, because I felt a lot of the offense was going to go to Kelsey and Hill, and that's what happened. They did. I mean, Kelsey hit all his props. Hill did not. I think Watkins, can't remember if he did or not. Brown did. I had some stuff there, but yeah, at the end of the day, it was just a butt whooping for me on football. But golf was great. That's what we're here for. So bad into the season on NFL, because I had a chance to get up on the season there. Small loss on the season. I think it was my first NFL loss in quite a while on a season. Golf has stayed hot, though. We're fired up for that. You guys kind of saw a little sneak preview of the site, I think Saturday night. So I'll announce more on that here in just a second. Recap last week, and then we'll get going for the At&T Pebble Beach. Like I said, I hit Brooks 40-1. Had Brooks, Rory, and X in my one and done. So pretty good there. Rory kind of stormed back with no pressure on Sunday. Kind of frustrating because I rode him a lot, even on Showdown, thinking he would find it Friday and Saturday, and then I get off Sunday and he goes, I think he shot, 5-6 under, something like that. But still a good Showdown week for me as well. Took second in the whatever, it's $10 or $12 on Thursday for 4K. Needed a horse shuttle birdie 18. I would have got 10K, so that was a $6,000 swing. Him not getting that, but can't complain. I think I had 30 lamps in there, so $300 into 4K. Pretty solid week on the main slate. My big bullet had 4-6, which I thought was pretty much dead, but ended up charging back Sunday because it had Brooks and can't remember who else was in there. Maybe Scheffler, but that helped, but it bubbled basically. So it was like a little bit of false hope. MMEs did well. I was top 5, top 9 most of the last 2 or 3 hours in the $55, which is kind of like, it was a $44 than last week, and it looks like this week as well. They've made it $55 entry. One of my favorite contests. I go back to, I think it's one of the ones you don't have to max to compete. I normally don't. I think I had 15 lineups, maybe 20, but I think I had 15. So that's whatever that is, $600 in there, and I think I made $1,800 or $2,000 on it. So good on the MME week. Not it wasn't horrible. My 3 max, my second favorite lineup was actually my best lineup, but I wound up cashing in, the 3 max stuff, listener league, and all that kind of stuff. But just going through everything, I wasn't really, the whole process of the week, I wasn't really disappointed at all. I like Brooks a lot. I said I was going to ride on that hill or die on it. Depends on how he did. I didn't have any. I don't think I had any Shoffley. I did have Rom, who just kind of had an average week again. Some lower end guys did well for me. I think I played Fowler, but not a lot. So, him missing the cut didn't kill me per se. I had a lot of Spieth, which was kind of ironic to have a lot of him. And actually, my two best lineups, even the one in the $55, didn't have him on it, which I found ironic. But so I think I was 6 to 8x over the field on him. I don't remember what he came in at, like 2% or something. I just thought it was, I'm not going to, it's not like a brag because you got it right. I mean, he was 2%. He's a guy that if he can get a few things right, you saw what he can do. And it's good for golf. So getting 10% even on that's 5x. And that's just was a risk in that situation that I wanted to take. And I kind of talked about that a little bit. I didn't go crazy overweight on him, but had enough to kind of, he was in some of my lineups to cash. So that was okay. Hit the HV3 top 20 bet as well. So sitting pretty going into Sunday night. We had plenty of money from golf. 3 first-round leaders and 2 outrights since basically in the last month since golf came back. So golf's been rolling. We'll try to focus on that. We don't have any more football. All in on golf for quite a while now for me. We still got everything going on the site. As always, you can use Smash 20, get 20% off. I've mentioned in these next 3 or 4 weeks is a big time if you want to come join us before we roll out the new site. Got a lot of new additions on it that will come even afterwards. The big rollout will just kind of be the transformation of going to this new platform that we've built from the ground up, completely custom built in-house, which gives us the ability to do enhancements and add-ons a lot better than what we could do in our old environment. Old environment, it's frustrating because of some of the things that it did, but starting out as a brand new, infancy company, it did its job. So I don't want to talk too bad on it, but definitely restricted us as we wanted to continue to grow. So getting into this environment is going to be huge for us. You can always also use the code SMASH20 to get 20% off gear. If you'd like to go check out, we still got probably 10 or 15 of the gray hats left. Plenty of the merch pack, the combo black and green stuff. Very little of anything else left. We stocked up on the merch the combo black and green because that's kind of our standard. Do the giveaways and stuff with that, but everything else is very limited. So if you want to go use that code, go get a few items before they sell out. Once we kind of get that stuff flushed out, introduce a new item and some other items that I got planned for the year. Right now I'm just so much time and effort going on the site that I hadn't worried about merch too much. As always, give us a like on YouTube. I know I don't push that. I always forget it, even though we've had a lot of growth. I did a little giveaway last week, helped. I want to get to 2,000 subscribers there, at least before the Masters, but I'd like to get well above it by the Masters. So even if you listen to the audio version, this is on there. I have a cup with Gup that I'm getting that formatting down so I can be more consistent with it. Did a nice betting 101 / prop pod last week, and that's on YouTube now. So got the artwork going there, working on some intro stuff. So if you are the YouTube kind, we are on there. I'm doing everything on there as well. So go give us a like on this video and subscribe to us and tell your friends about it. It helps out a lot. Rate, review us on iTunes is always huge. If you can't remember if you did it, go do it again. It doesn't hurt. I pull all those. Those 2 things will be huge in giveaways in the next month. March to the Masters. I am very close to having everything finalized. I was trying to get it knocked out here this morning before I went live. I will probably have it pushed out this week. I will have it pushed out this week as far as to the members and all that kind of stuff. I'll go in full details next week on the pod. Super Bowl and all that kind of got me a little behind this weekend, but I went on 2 final things to come to be committed, and then I'll roll that out. But as I mentioned, new subscribers, anybody that signed up February 1st or past, you're in the March to the Masters promo. We'll be giving away some nice stuff. We always do. Normally, this is our big push for some kind of trip. Obviously, in the times we're in, that's not going to be feasible this year, at least for this. Who knows what goes on down the road. But so I'm getting some items together that'll be very nice. We have a give away a really nice putter and stuff in the fall. So stuff similar to that. So you guys will like it. If you're a current member and you want to upgrade, always email us support@gupscorner.com. I'll check your account, see what kind of loyalty program we got for you guys to upgrade. If you upgraded anytime as well, and that I go back normally to probably the last giveaway, so I just kind of start over. You'll be in that drawing. And then if you are a current member and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to, like I said, the YouTube and iTunes stuff will be huge for giveaways as well. If you do give us a comment on this video. Put your handle in there, either your Twitter handle, Slack, I don't care. Just label it something because I'll be doing giveaways on that. And I'll announce that later on today or tomorrow. I'll do another giveaway on the YouTube subscribers and the iTunes rate and review. So put some kind of way I can identify you. We had some nice giveaways last week on that. Appreciate that. Always big for us as we continue to try to grow. Listener League is up. I put it up yesterday. They bumped it to 400 entries. Let's fill that thing fast. It'll be in the description of the audio pod. Click it. 3 max, $7.50. Limited rake, so one of the lower percenter rake you'll see on DK. So go ahead and get in there. Let's knock 400 out real quick and show them we want it bigger. You guys keep doing it quicker, they'll make it bigger. They promised me that. The quicker we fill it up and get it going, especially with no football around, NBA and all that kind of stuff is definitely going to take, some precedence. But golf being kind of that once a week type mentality like NFL, although they're showdown and all that, this helps take the place. And they're pumping some good contests out. We'll see how they continue to adapt and make those things bigger. Last year was a pretty good year for PGA. Obviously, when the reboot happened in June, I think we had a million maker a week. I don't necessarily think we'll get there, but who knows? I'd like to. But the contests are looking nice, especially with football going away. Last week's winner, TS Tyron 174. Very solid lineup. He had Usti, Brooks, Bubba, Henley, Connors, and Burns. Obviously, the big push by Brooks on Sunday. And I think Bubba actually had a pretty good Sunday as well. Henley had a monster Saturday with the 7 or 8 under on the front. I think he actually went +1 on the back, but tied the course record for that 9 holes. Had a chance on 18 if he'd have birdied it, would have set the record. I think he shot even on Sunday, but the Saturday enough bumped him up there, enough to pay out. Usti was a guy that kind of looked at, but really didn't get to. So that's a good call by him. Great lineup. I think he's already accepted the invite as well. So again, this week, Listener League winner will get in there. The winner also, if you want, the top 3 get merch packs. Just DM me, send me a message. I'm going 90-0. So I don't know your DK names, how they correlate. So if you win this week, if you finish top 3 this week, let me know. And I'm going to give away a merch pack to all 3 of the top 3. It's on you to reach out to me because sometimes I know their names, but sometimes I don't. So if you just shoot me a DM or if you're in Slack, reach out to me there and I'll get you taken care of. Obviously this week, At&T Pebble Beach, a little bit different format, kind of like a couple weeks ago. Only 2 course rotation instead of 3. Normally this one also has the big amateurs, meaning, it takes a lot longer, kind of the celebrity type amateurs. And then typically it was top 60 in ties after Saturday. So now it'll be top 65 in ties, traditional field, 156-man field or so. Only playing Pebble Beach and Spyglass. So we'll kind of be analyzing that similar like I did a few weeks ago, and I put together, all right, course history looks good on these guys, but how much of the scoring has come from the 2 courses they are going to play versus the one they're not? Is there some advantage there? I put down a whole breakdown of that the last time we had this rotation, so I'll be doing that again. I think it really helped a lot. It definitely helped during Showdown because you can kind of look at where people got it. The difference here is Monterey was definitely the easiest of the 3, and it's gone. So I definitely think scoring will be higher. Playing Pebble 3 times. The weather also looks very sketchy at the time. So if we get winds and rain, plus no Monterey Peninsula, we could push single digits. I'm not going that far yet. I want to get closer to the tomorrow night and see what the weather looks like. But I don't think it's going to be a big birdie fest by any means. We've seen, even when the U.S. Open was here, when the weather is absolutely perfect and there's no wind, it's scoreable. The wind's kind of the biggest protector. And so that's the biggest issue we got to kind of look at. Pebble and Spyglass, lengthened a little bit, both close to 7,000. They're both par 72s. Monterey was a par 71. For me, it looks like late rain in the afternoon Thursday, early Friday, and then it's on and off all weekend. But the winds continue to pick up each day right now. It's where Sunday actually looks the worst of the wind weather. Now, that doesn't matter as far as trying to predict who we get on a wave deal. Right now, you could lean, maybe guys, if it's going to rain Thursday, it looks like the wind's worse on Friday, so I'd probably want Pebble guys on Thursday, and then I don't know if I care about AM PM yet. Although this is Tuesday morning, it's still too early to tell. That's something that as we get going, and I've done in the past, if I need it, I'll do a heat map, as far as where we think the best waves are. Slight lean to wanting the guys playing Pebble on Thursday right now, but definitely want to look to see, because right now it looks really late Thursday on the rain and early Friday. I'm not really worried about the rain as much as I am the wind. If we're going to have stronger winds like Friday afternoon, I either want the Pebble guys going out early Friday or anytime Thursday, because Pebble can play pretty tough if the wind's there. It brings the round game in, around the green game and all that. But I want to see if it's a big enough split to matter. Last time we thought it was going to be a big, and at the end, come Wednesday, I was like, I really just don't see a big enough advantage. Definitely in showdown, it probably lean towards Spyglass, but we want to get all that together, for the full tournament before we start making big hard cuts. And maybe it's a deal where it's so fine line that you naturally just want to group. If you're doing 20 lineups, maybe you take 10 lineups and you do half stacked one way, half stacked the other, then your other 10 just kind of build naturally. And maybe if you luck into the right draw, that gives you a little diversity. But we go through all that as we get towards the final thoughts tomorrow night. Cut, I think I'm going to go like +1, +2. I really think it's going to play much tougher than it has, not only because of weather and all that, but again, like I said, the easiest course, without a doubt, is not being played this year. Winning score, like I said, I think we can get to single digits, but I'm going to predict like -12 to -14 under right now. The last several years, it's been right around 17 to 19 under. And that's with Monterey in the mix. So only having to play Pebble twice and, the easiest course in there. There's been some years it's been a little bit lower, but I think it's going to be right low teens at best. I think like a 15 under would be my best case score right now. Kind of see how that gets going. But that does, if we start thinking more 9, 10, 11 under, because Pebble can play easy. So if all of a sudden, this system and all that moves on out or something, changes, it can turn into somewhat birdie fest. We have seen, 19 under type win it, but I don't believe that. And so we'll bring some finishing position type stuff into play. You won't have a potential for as many birdie or better streaks, stuff like that. Bogey avoidance can come in. Really focus on around the green. If the winds are up, these greens are already small, that you bring that wind in like that, they're going to want, they're going to need to be able to get up and down, save par, move on, and not give it up. Past winners here, Nick Taylor, Mickelson 5 times, TPJ with the stunning beat of DJ that year, Spieth, hot name right now, Von Taylor, Snedeker's won here twice, Walker's even won here, like Phil, DJ's won here twice. We know he's withdrawn now, which is, I keep like pausing because there's always been a reason on Monday where I didn't want to rush the pod, and there were some thoughts and discussions that DJ made because of the wind, and then what he's got because of the wind that he had over in Euro, plus the schedule he's got coming up, and that's not being a pro-am because he normally plays with his father-in-law, but you would have thought he would have pulled out a little earlier, and so there was no rush to get it out last night. Working on other stuff anyways. I got all the rankings out and all that. I kept him in there because at that time he hadn't withdraw, but I didn't want to waste a lot of content, especially this pod, if he wasn't going to be in it. I figured we'd know last night, but didn't know for sure. And then sure enough, as I was approaching laying down, we got the notification that he withdrew. So anyways, got, obviously Phil's short game, Jason Day's short game, those kind of things stick out to me. Definitely don't need bombers or anything off the tee like that. And potentially good grinders. I mean, it could be a Boho type name comes to mind because he grinds a lot. That's a lower end name. But all the top guys are going to be there. Not be there, but they have they have the game. But when you start looking at that, who do I go 7, 8? We may start looking a little bit more at grinders. Can make the cut. give me a chance. Don't need to go crazy low potentially. So that's a different mindset in how we build compared to, some of these lower scores we've had in recent weeks. Out of the field right now, you got 34 guys that haven't played it since 2016. A little higher than we've seen. A lot of withdrawals. A lot of people not playing this year. I don't know if kind of surprising because you would have thought some may want to play it without the AMs because a lot of people didn't play it with the AMs because just guys don't like the 6.5, 7-hour rounds, 6-hour rounds, whatever it is. But there's definitely not a lot of people here. One of the weaker fields we've seen, definitely the weakest field we've seen this year. And now that DJ's left, there's nobody in the top 10 in the world that's here. So a lot of solid names now, especially us DJs. If you're here listening for daily fantasy, I mean, we know these names. They're not horrible. Definitely gets parsed down at the lower end in the sixes. Still some good guys that we can take some chances on, but not just stack loaded, especially like last week. Up top is where I think most people think you don't have hardly. Well, I just said no one in the top 10 of the world's here now that DJ's gone. We got 4 guys. Well, now we got 3 guys in the top 10 or 10K. 8 in the 9K, 11 in the 8K, 40 in the 7K, and 86 in the 6K. Should be some probably Monday Q guys that'll get added today. Sometimes they get it late Tuesday, sometimes early Wednesday they add it to the DK pool. I always add them to my final ranking sheet down there in the bottom left just so you know who the names are. And if I have an opinion on them, I'll mention something. I think last week I said Nick Hardy was a guy I look at MME-wise as a flyer. He turned out to have a decent week. A lot of guys like him. He's an up-and-comer that, probably not Will Zalatoris level yet, but he definitely seems to have a lot of pedigree that we want to keep a look at. Davis Riley made the cut. He's another guy playing this week. So with DJ out, it definitely makes the building, I don't want to say soft, but because he was priced up so high, a lot of people were priced down. You can build and go about any way you want now. I think the biggest decision had DJ stayed in was, do I go DJ, forcing me to be a little bit different, or do I go balance? Now you pretty much fit whatever way you want to build because you don't have to worry about that DJ running away on top of it if you decide to fade him. I would have thought at 12,000 he probably would have been a little lower owned, albeit I could see it going either way. He's coming off the win. He does have a decent history here. Always makes the cut, it seems like. He's got a second and a third, but he also has 30 seconds, 45ths, 41s, stuff like that. So I was probably more in the mindset to fade him or be light if he was going to remain popular. But we always know the rule. If he's going to be 10 to 15%, I would have been on him. Don't have to worry about it no more. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where the industry is. Some of the industry, their stuff was out before that came about, so kind of had to parse through that and see what we can gather from it. For me, Sweet 16, 3 picks in the 4 ranges, plus a bubble boy in each range, a fade, a sleeper, some gut plays, and then our monkey knife fight betting strategy segment, and then one and done, we wrap it up. 9K or above, I'm going to go back to Si Woo. I can't get off of him. He's number 2 in my stat model. He'd be number 1 now because this still includes DJ. 6th in recent form. Mixed bag of course history here. A 35th, a miscut, a 4th, a miscut. So hit or miss there. But do remember it's a T60 and above cut is where it was before. So, not that it is harder to make the cut in that situation. They always got 3 rounds in. But I know on the deep dive stuff I do, plus the little rankings thing I do, and I'm going to parse out that the Monterey Peninsula stuff with the other 2 courses. I want to see, okay, how someone like that has a up and down history. Was he close and just missed the cut? Because 1 day or 3 day cut instead of a 2 day. Or was he just like bad? With him being good in the other 2 years, it would lead me to think like he probably had an okay chance to make the cut. But that's anecdotal. That's why we pull the data and kind of see where it's at. 1 at the Amex, miscut at the Farmers, made the cut last week, got 50th. Nothing crazy, but you would think this would fit his game well. It doesn't have to be long off the tee here. Just put it in the fairway, get on the green. He's number 1 around the green for me as well in the rankings. So nothing I don't like about him. I'm not sure if he'll be talked up a lot. There's a lot of options in this area. I think Day will be popular. I don't know about Spieth yet. Molinari, based on what I've seen just in the Twitter world on betting, he'll probably be popular. So maybe get a low Kim that's kind of smashed between those two. So I like him a lot. Willie Z, I'll go back there. At 9,900, I'm just curious how many people will actually take a stab there. He remained decently popular last week. Nothing crazy, and I don't think he'll get very high owned. I mean, he's not going to be chalk, is what I'm saying, because you got Berger $200 more that I think people would entertain. Speed $200 less. Some people may go back to. Most people may just say that's too much of a jump. Casey's not too much more popular name here. Dave, $400 cheaper, I think would draw a lot off of Willie Z. So it's a little bit of a game theory play, as I don't think people want to pay up. He's just striping it. I mean, ball striking approach, my good approach numbers are good. They're not the best, but they're top 20% in the field. Second in ball striking, ninth in par 5 DK scoring, 23rd around the green, so I do like that. I had a great week going last week, just, didn't finish too well Sunday, but still 17th overall, so a 7th and 17th. He's now inside the top 50 of the world, so big things coming from him. I mean, if he happened to get bumped up to super chalky, I don't want to play a chalky Willie Z. I just don't see that happening, so I like Willie Z this week. Cam Davis is a guy I think that could get a little bit more steam than like a Willie Z. But I do like him, always like him. 9,000, not too worried about that in this field. The sticker price is shock for a lot of guys this week is one thing you have to get over, especially what you've paid for Molinari the last 2 times he played, down as low as I think he was 7,300 or something at the Amex. Same with Spieth. Spieth's a little different for me, but, Molinari's shown good form. This course you would think would fit his game well, and so I like him. I don't think 9,300 will get too many people off of him if people just don't worry about. I've always talked about that, and again, that's why I always kind of do the blind rankings to start out. Is in this field relative to who he's playing with, how does it look? You can't look at it like compared to last week or anything like that. And now we definitely got another factor with DJ out is. What kind of value are we getting, because DJ was already priced into the field, and so some of these guys are a lot lower than they should be in other spots, like a Berger, Cantley. Berger would have been a lot higher, probably closer to, in Casey. All those guys would have been a lot higher. So be interesting to see how people kind of strategize and think through that. But I do like Cam Davis, 9,000. I'll watch out for the chalkiness, but his around the green games, the only number that kind of sticks out to me is not very great. But he's 4th in the field in strokes or scoring opportunities inside 12 feet, 11th in good approach. So if he's hitting those greens, we don't have to worry about the round of green. It is difficult out here, though. He's an Aussie, though, so I mean, a little wind I don't think is going to hurt him. He's a guy I got my eye on at 9,000. My bubble boy was DJ for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, how I was thinking about it. But with him out, it kind of goes to Berger Spieth. You got Berger who missed a cut. I think the industry is getting away from, I got burned by him last week, so I can't play him. You see a little bit of people, a year ago or 18 months ago, people that was an automatic play for me because people would just bounce off people. He was a lot higher owned than I anticipated. I put him up there. I didn't really see why he was that high in that field. I got it, but I was a full fade of him. I didn't play him at all. But he missed a cut. So obviously when he's a super high owned guy and he misses a cut, there's a tendency historically that people move off of him. I think with the education and the amount of coverage we got now, people are telling you that it's golf. Like, you can't put that much weight into it. He's got a good history here. He's only played twice though in like the last 6 years. So limited size. I like him. I want to see, are people going to go right back to him and move him up, especially with DJ out now? You got options up there. Maybe, and I don't know if I want to go back to a chalky one. Spieth, same way. I don't think people are going to want to pay 9,700, which will put me right back on him. That's the only reason why I was on him last week is, so low ownership. He does have the great history here. Won it in 17, 2 top 10s. Made the cut the last 5 years. Even last year he got 9th, and we know his game was nowhere near back at that point. So for me, both these guys come down to an ownership call. I like them both. I think Spieth will be much lower owned at 9,700, so he could be in play. But I could wind up playing both. And that's why I don't really do two down there, but I wanted to kind of touch on both those, especially with the late DJ withdrawal. That's kind of my opinion on both of those guys. Kind of see where we're at come ownership. I think Spieth will be low, and I'll be on him probably no matter what. But Berger's a guy I like at that number. And it really opens up a lot of balance build going Berger, which is why I think people will still give him another shot, even though he burned him last week. 8K range, I like Harmon. This kind of setup and course I think fits good for him. He hasn't played here at all since 2016. That's my only worry. But maybe it doesn't matter. A lot of these guys none of these guys have played at the 2-course rotation only. If you just kind of look at how his game sets up, he's okay around the green, but he's great opportunities inside 12 feet, great on approach. Not going to beat anybody off the tee, but that doesn't matter. He's still 28th in ball striking in this field. 3 straight med cuts coming in here. Sony, Amex, and Waste Management. He took the Farmers off. He's mid-pack on putting POA. But 8,200, that kind of factors all that in. I need him there on the weekend, flirting with a top 20, and let's see what can happen on Sunday type of deal. In this kind of, hit fairways, hit greens type of deal, I really like a Brian Harmon, $8,200. Strillman, great history here, tremendous history here. I can see him getting some love because of the history. Last 5 times, a 17th, a 14th, a 6th, a 7th, and a 2nd. A miscut at the Amex, but then 2 made cuts at Farmers and Waste Management. Last week, finished 22nd, good finish. Stats, he's 14th for me. Nothing really to hate on there at 8,900. It'd be interesting to see, because of his history here, does he pull away some of that Cam Davis love just $100 cheaper? Burns is right there in that area as well. Who's a popular name as of late, but I like Strillman, $8,900. I think I'll have plenty of him. Norlander, a guy I've been riding as well throughout this kind of kind of back into last season, going into this year. He's played here 3 times. I didn't really realize that until we ran the data. Missed a cut in 16, then 2 straight made cuts, a 39th and a 25th. He's 38 in my putting splits. Last 3 tournaments out, a 12th, a 2nd, and a 22nd. Great form. He missed a cut at the Sony. That was it. His around the green game numbers are not great. That concerns me a little bit, especially depending on what side of the draw he gets. 8,700. I don't know if people are up. I think Strillman pulls away from him, so I anticipate him being a lower 8,700 owned guy. But I like him a lot. Been riding him. Strong look in the betting market as well for me on him. Betting market kind of, typically I have all my bets, most of my bets locked in Monday night. I kind of release them Tuesday after I kind of think through things and all that. This time with the DJ movement, I had to release soon. As soon as I got up this morning, the ones that I still wanted before they moved too much. A few books out there hadn't moved them, that they still had DJ on the board. So, because most of those guys, they're sleeping at when that news came out, didn't have time to adjust. Some of the sharper books did move them already. I saw Harold HV3 as high as like 80 still this morning and as low as 50. So really depend on where you at with all that. So he's one that hasn't moved a whole lot, even if you missed him. He'll be a potential play from this week in the betting market as well. Neesmith is my bubble boy, 8,000 flat, 11th here last year. Mixed results coming in, a miscut, then a 48th and a 7th last week. He played great last week, had plenty of them. He was in several of my lineups that wound up there doing good. His around the green game, struggles a little bit. Rest of it, he's 30th in stats overall. Like Harmon, you just need a made cut. Give me a flirt with a a top 20 come Sunday. And he's got the upside. He got 11th here last year, so I like seeing that he's played here and got an 11th. I feel like his game's in a better spot than it was even a year ago, so I like Neesmith as the bubble boy. 7K range, HV3. Obviously I like him a lot, but I worry about his ownership this week, especially in this field. He's going to pop on any kind of model, whatever, because it's the stats wise. $7,700 is a cheap price. Got a 13th last week. Played really, really great. Missed a cut here last year. Pole splits are mixed, but he put it okay last week. he's 4th in my stat model overall, 7th, 6th, 10th. He's 2nd around the green, which is a key stat for me this week. He may be a guy that if I'm going to go there, I just have to go overweight and eat the chalk. If he gets stupid too high, then no, I won't. I just have to pass on it. But I definitely, he's in my pool right now. I just have to kind of see if he gets really, really popular. The next guy, which may not get much popular, is $100 more, is Malnati, and he's 5th in my overall model ranking. So I like him maybe as a pivot, but I like both of them. He's 10th in the POA splits for me. A yo-yo effect here. History is 66th, a mixed cut, a 35th, a missed cut, and 11th. I guess the only positive there is each time he's missed the cut, he's come back and he's finished better. His results have gone from 66th, 35th to 11th last year. So I really like that. A 14th, a missed cut, and a 10th coming in. So 2 top 15 finishes. He's 5th in recent form for me. Not too much to hate about Malnati, really. I know he relies on putting some, but this week that may be enough. Again, you don't need super low. We don't predict right now that you're going to need super low scoring. So, I like him. And Harold, I can see Malnati being much lower owned, and so maybe I have to go that route. I hope I can play both by the time we get all the ownership out. Chris Kirk is my last one. Same price range, $7,900. Not too great in the POA split model. Got a 39th here, 2 missed cuts. Missed cut last week. I definitely think he'll be like a lower own in this range because of the people he's surrounded around. So don't expect to have too much of him in the pool, but I like his upside. I like where his game is in general. I had a 2nd at the Sony, a 16th at Amex. Did miss a cut last week. I don't remember how popular he was, but I don't think you have to worry about that too much. I like the number 80-1 still. So he's a guy that pool filler for sure and potential high upside. So I like Chris Kirk this week. My bubble boy is Gim. Not the best history here, but I did go back and look at his, and he really has played pretty good. He just fallen victim of the cut. Back-to-back missed cuts here. He's good on POA, though, 35th. Good, a 5th at the Amex, 37th at the Farmers. Missed cut at the Sony, though, but he's 13th in my stat model. Good approach was the worst number. He's 64th in the field, but he's 14th in ball striking, 9th in opportunities inside 12 feet, 17th around the green. Feels like a good course for him. I had him as a bubble boy just because I want to validate like why he's missed more the 2 cuts he has here. Don't look like it's a worrisome for me, but when I pull that data and parse it out on all 3 courses, that'll kind of tell me if he moves off the bubble and into the pool. But I like Doug Gim from everything I see right now. 6K range, Chris Baker. 6K range is it's I don't say it's a little tough this week, but plenty of options I think give you upside. Especially, we don't ever say that 66 is going to be low, but a decent chance that it could be low this week. Big field, a lot of potential uncontrollable issues, weather, rain, wind, all that kind of stuff. So you never know, but at 6,200, he got a 38th here last year. He doesn't have great POA. 57th at the Sony, then 2 missed cuts. He's 7th in par 5 for me, 5th in ball striking, 33rd in opportunities inside 12 feet. His approach and around the green numbers are around the green is kind of like the other guys. They're not great, but his approach is okay, mid-pack. So that price, though, in this kind of field, I'm okay to take that risk. Especially going down that low, if I'm going to get into the 6s and I can get a guy that, top to bottom in the 6s, you're splitting hairs on the talent level here. So a guy that I can get 6,200, I think has just as much upside as some of these 67, 68, 6,900 guys. I don't mind taking that risk, especially in MME type stuff. Teeter just reminds me of a grinder. So he made the pool here based on that kind of narrative. He had a 45th here 2 years ago, a miscut last year. He had a 40th at the Amex. I don't think he doesn't have full status. So you got to take advantage of the shots he gets. Stats are pretty good. Worst is around the green, but that's 82nd. But 12th in par 5 DK scoring, 14th in opportunities inside 12 feet, 26th on approach or good approach numbers. So 6,600 seems like a great number. Again, I think I got him as a grinder type mentality. When you see, just watching his game in the past, I like him a lot this week. I think he can make some noise. And again, we're taking darts down here, make things work. I think balanced build will probably be more popular. So I don't think any of these guys are going to be something super chalky. So having little bits of pieces of them can definitely be okay. Patia, we know I've been on him. I'll have him. He is 5th in my stat model. Limited, we know, but he's played good. I mean, missed a cut at Amex. He's 6,500. He's 19th, 19th, 17th, 5th, and 11th in my 5 stat models. Again, I know it's limited data, but it's still pretty good. 58th in the POA split. I like him this week. Flirting with potential 3-max opportunity as well, especially depending on how I want to build. If I want to shove 2 guys, now that DJ's out, if I want to shove a Burger and a Cantley, or, Burger and Willie Z, and I still want to have room, maybe I drop down to someone like him. I definitely don't mind doing that this week. Bubble Boy, Adam Shank, 28th in the model, 6,500 as well. A miscut here 3 years ago, and then a 45th and a 50th. So two miscuts, or 2 made cuts in a row. His form's just been hit or miss. Going back even 10, 12 weeks, it's not a little worrisome, but his last 4 is miscut, 37th, miscut. I don't think he'll be high owned at all, especially in the 6K. This is a guy, that's why he's on the Bubble Boy, because of the form. Everything else for his price I like, but I can't imagine him being more than 2 or 3% owned. So in a GPP or an MME type flyer, 5%. That's all you need to get overweight this week. And I'm not, as of right now, we'll kind of see how it finalizes. Like, I'm going to pick my handful of 6K guys that I like and just be on them. I don't want to spread out a lot down there this week. I want to, if I'm right on the guys down there I like, I want to be right on them and let that control the week. I don't want to have to get 20 guys down there and hope I hit 2. Because I just don't, I don't like enough of them. There's several that are right on the bubble there as well. Bramlett, Oppenheim. There's 8 to 10 right now. I kind of got earmarked as potential Chase Seifert to get in to my pool, depending on how big of an MME I do. And that's it. I'll just go be overweight on them, compare the field, and then build the rest up. My fade of the week this week is Casey. 10-4. I'm not super comfortable with this fade, but now he's the 2nd highest price in the field. Obviously a good record here: an 8th, a 2nd, a 64th, an 8 at the Amex. He won on Euro. Tons of reasons for people like him. I'm predicting he's going to be high owned because of that, especially no DJ. I think Cantley will have some as a clear kind. I don't say clear. I think him and Burger are a lot closer in talent than the $1,200, which is why I consider the thing that people are going to keep going back to Burger, even though they burned him. So Cantley wind up being a good play if everybody's just moving off of him this week. But Casey kind of feels like, I feel like Casey and Day are the 2 guys that I'm willing to take a chance on. But when it came down to picking one, Day just has too damn good of a record here. I mean, last 5 out, 11th, 5th, 2nd, 4th, 4th. And we know he wasn't super great last year at that time. So I know he's missed 2 cuts in a row, pretty much been putting. So I feel like I could still get to Day, but, being a 10-4 for Casey, I didn't want to pay up on that this week. There's too many other options of builds I like to go to. I don't hate him. Obviously, he's got a pretty good record here and all that. He's got decent form coming in. I'm just going to choose to go elsewhere right now, and I assume he's going to be high owned. And so that's why he's my fade of the week, or high-ish owned. I don't think anybody's going to be stupid crazy owned in this deal, but he's one I think will be up there with everything coming in and his history. Sleeper of the week for me is Patton Kizzire. Not played here, but pretty good on post splits, top 3rd in the field. A 7th, a 53rd, and a 50th. I played him a lot coming in. We talked about how his game's looking like it's coming back a lot more. He's $7,600. He's going to be 3 to 5% owned, 26th in my stat model. And I kind of like, especially where he's gotten his wins and stuff, that if it does get a little nasty, I think he can do all right in that. The wind and stuff like that, I don't think will bother him as much. He's top 33 and around the green stuff. So just kind of a guy that I didn't have up there in the 7K, but, kind of a sleeper, under 5% guy that let's keep our eyes on him. Patton Kizzire, sleeper of the week. Gut feel plays. These are guys that just aren't, top 25, top 30 in the rankings, but I do like them as a consideration. Being that, solo pod, I only put so many names out there. I've added this, the last couple months, had good feedback, so I'll keep it going. First one's Matt Jones, 32nd in the rankings, an 11th, a 23rd, a miscut, a 53rd, and a 5th here, last 5 years. Top, probably 4th. He's 60th in POA split, so not terrible. 4 straight made cuts coming in, 11th, a 21st, a 48th, 30th, playing good golf. Nothing jumps off the page at you stat-wise. Like, he's excellent, but he's doing everything pretty good. And at 8,100, he's right there with Harmon and all those guys I talked with Neesmith, I talked about earlier. So I can see him having a good week. He did get talked up a little bit last week, so I want to pause to see there. I don't know I want to play a chalky Matt Jones, but I do like him this week. Piercy, 42nd in the model. 4 straight years. I think he may get some love. Great course history, a 55th, a 20th, a 10th, and an 18th. Decent on the POA splits. Stats are not great. He's good ball striking, 12th, 43rd on approach. Then he's 97th, 97th, and 108th on the other 3. But 7,100, all you need is make cut here, and you're happy with that. And he's made it. I mean, the course history kind of supersedes that for me. Definitely worth a look. MME style. Yeah, he's not high in my rankings, just a gut feel there with Piercy. I like him this week. Seifert, I mentioned him earlier, 6,800. Played here last year, got a 50th. He's 41st in POA splits. I like that. He had a miscut to Sony, then a 12th and a 60th. Stats are okay. They're just, average. Around the greens a little off, but at 6,800, we're just looking for a guy that can potentially make a cut for you. So I like him, 43rd in my rankings. And last gut feel is Ben Martin. Kind of brought him up a couple weeks ago when they made the PGA Championship announcement. He's the one that Benny On beat at Southern Hills when I was there watching those guys. He's 59th in the rankings. Decent history here. Miscut, but then a 26th and a 25th. 19th in POA split putting for me. He got a 56th at Amex. 45th in stats. I really like him. I mean, he's 59th in my overall model. I could see him moving up through the deep dive, but 6 opportunities inside 12 feet. Like that. 55th in approach, 65th in par 5 DK. Those aren't stellar numbers, but for a guy at 6,500, he's a guy that can make that 6K pool for me. That's going to be very small this week, and hope he can make a run. Again, 2 straight top 26s here, so I like that as well. Monkey Knife Fight put out a lot of content for that. Are putting out a lot of content for that when it comes to their prop bet system. Did the Super Bowl, did golf, do golf full tournament and nightly. You can use the code GUPS, GUPS, get 100% off your first deposit up to $50. They're our sponsor for the betting strategy segment. The top 5 that pop and 2 long shots. You can go to gupscorner.com/affiliates, by the way. Click on the link and go there, or just go to monkeyknifefight.com and use the code GUPS to get the 100% match up to $50. Willie Z was one. HV3 I mentioned earlier. Malnati, both right there, 80-1. Chris Kirk, 80-1. Some of these may have moved again with the DJ stuff. And then Cam Davis were the top 5 that kind of stood out to me. I asked, I wasn't going to be, obviously, going to be on DJ at 4-1 or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, Tiger is probably the only golfer that's paid off of that kind of number. I'd have to look. Back in the day, I think at one point he was like even money, some tournaments, but a lot of these guys can win this. And this could be a tournament where it's better to be a little light going in, not only because you could get a good, wave advantage and stuff. You got a guy that does good on the bad struggle. I mean, a bad meaning condition day, and then gets the easier course the next day. Maybe you get a good number there and make a run at it, or just in general. I think there's going to be some live opportunities to do ads, especially it's easier if you have a minus 13 winner instead of a minus 20. You can always get back into the mix there when you're not having to make up as many strokes. So I probably could have a little lighter card and look to do some live ads. Just seeing how the weather shakes out and how the draws shake out and all that kind of stuff. I only released 3 today. And now I'm waiting on the weather draw and tee times and stuff, which we should get this afternoon, to kind of see if there's any big advantage there before I invest too much more. My 2 long shots, Batia, you can go ahead and bet that one. T20 will be a bet for me for sure. I'll sprinkle some on the 250 to 1, but he'll have a good top 20 number. So I like him. And then Pat Kazire, the one I mentioned earlier, 100 to 1. If you want to take a look at that, he has potential to make my final card as well. One and done strategy. I took Brooke, X, and Rory last week, so I'm not backing away from the top guys. I still see people taking some unusual picks, and I don't get it because again we try to talk to people about it. I think I'm going to add when I do one of my Cup with Gut pods Wednesday morning. I may do one and kind of emphasize kind of one and done strategy plus some guys that have moved up since Monday and guys that have moved down since Monday type of deal, like a 15-20 minute type pod. But you don't have to get cute. Now if there was ever a time to take a few chances on maybe on one of yours or something this week, you could kind of do it here because I think it's kind of up for grabs. But I still think you have Siwoo, Willie Z, Berger, Cantley, even Molinari if you want to, Spieth if you want to, Cam Davis, Sam Burns is right there, competing every week. Stroman's not a bad one. That's 8,900, just correlating it to pricing. Maybe you go Casey if you're going to go fade like me and just, all right, I'll take him as a one and done. Jason Day. I think Day will be popular, so I don't know in a field like this that I want to get the popular guy. So I try to pick, last week I picked Brooks on one, who I know would be low. Then the other ones I kind of went a little safer, Rory and X. But, Fowler, 9,200, didn't really mention him. See if he's popular this week. I think he'll be maybe not as much because he's fairly popular last week. Missed the cut again. It really just, his putting's not been there. So if he can get that going, he's definitely in play. But, that's a guy that's risky, but high upside that you can still take a chance on. That's kind of where I would be at this week. I'm not getting too far off of the Berger, Cantley, Davis, Willie Z, even Siwoo type guys. Don't mind taking a chance on Spieth, especially with his history here, and kind of got a little spark of rejuvenation last week. So that's kind of where I'm at this week. Should be a good week. I know the anytime after, it's kind of like what after the Masters is kind of even worse because the Masters is so much work and time and effort. Kind of the whole football season this year was just a grind, and especially with so many late changes on the COVID and all that. And you get a lot of content done, you got to change it, mixed in with a heavy golf season. I mean, I know a lot of guys in my position that are, wearing thin on that. Not to mention the last, 12 weeks been nonstop building the new site behind the scenes with Bobby Gould. So definitely been a grind for me. But I am still I feel good. Like I'm ready to grind out some golf. I think get through some deep dive stuff today, and I'm ready to go. Definitely not a week off by no means. I think we got a good chance to make some more money. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the new site. I'm excited for March to the Masters again. You guys come join us. If you're in now and you want to upgrade, you've seen some of the stuff we put out there. You won't regret that. Current members reach out to me, see what we got on loyalty code upgrades on that as well. Looking forward to the week. I'll be back tomorrow, definitely for E9. I'm not sure if Kenny Kim's going to make it or not. Always 50-50 with him right now. But if he does, even better. Be probably 5:30 Eastern is where I've been going for that. If the weather becomes more and more a consideration, I may bump it just a little bit back so I can get as much of the updated weather stuff for you guys, but I always let you guys know that. You guys have a great day and a blessed week, and thank you